Hi there, this is Team Icons, and this is our funding pitch for Science Everywhere. This presentation will be done by Sulaiman, Myron, Erik, Hunter, Diluxan, and Xuanyu. For this funding pitch, we're going to be talking about what is Science Everywhere and Freestyle Social, what's the goal of Freestyle Social, our pathway to success, our funding goal, the financial data to back this up, our elevator pitch, and our next steps going forward.
Science Everywhere is a Toronto-based media production company. They develop and deliver live science experiences for television, cultural institutions, social media, and the streets of Toronto. They host live events that include interactive stage shows and pop-up science experiences. Science Everywhere has worked with television networks like City TV and Discovery Canada. They are also active daily on social media, where they engage with fans and share what they are currently up to online. Science Everywhere designs and constructs all kinds of short-term and long-term installations for clients, and they are also moving forward with their own Science Everywhere TV show pitch. Freestyle Social is an open mic debate for socialization through sharing knowledge and perspective. This initiative creates face-to-face community engagement for diverse communities to meet new people and share ideas. It is also a new platform to reach and understand audiences through exploring new perspectives and ideas, connecting with students, industry, government, and researchers at the core of social transformation.
The overall goal of Freestyle Social is to create a game that allows for open-minded conversations. This would include, and not be limited to, friends, classmates, teachers, and even just people who share different opinions. They want to be able to create meaningful and engaging conversations without the fear of being wrong or even judged. Like their founder would say, we all have the capacity to learn something new and be open. So, change your mind and change your mind again.
Students are becoming increasingly frustrated with the standard in-class learning, and professors are having to compensate for this setback with more effort and time. Despite what cynics may say, Anthony Morgan, the CEO, believes in the desire for students to want to learn and for professors to provide that learning, only that they need better tools to do so. Freestyle Social encourages deeper, more engaged learning throughout the factors already described and seeks to gain investment from both the customer, which are the professors, and their customers, which are students. As Freestyle Social develops and expands, the platform will be a place for students to frequent, much like other entertaining platforms such as Twitch, but the core attraction will be a genuine desire for learning.
We're expecting a slow start to revenue growth as the company continues to develop its product and service offerings throughout its next year of operations. A strategic marketing plan will also be critical during this early stage. During the following years, we're expecting substantial growth to revenues and a positive net income starting in year 4. As revenues grow, the largest expenses on the income statement will be salaries as the number of employees gradually grows, along with rent paid for office space. These first 3 years of negative cash flows are where outside funding will be needed. As the company develops, the plan is to move employees into leased office space, which is one of the main reasons that external funding will be so critical for sustaining early operations and growth. Along with leasing an office comes the purchase of furniture and equipment, which will set the company back financially for the first few years. As you can see, the company will begin earning positive cash flows from operating activities in 4 years. This will be fueled by investments made in office space and equipment, along with early investments from the owners, along with friends and family. Various grants are also being pursued to help keep the company afloat during this phase.
Based on previous pro forma financial data, we conclude a J-curve graph to show that Freestyle Social will experience a substantial financial loss in the first 3 years of operation, and the retained earnings will decrease to more than $1 million negative, which will result in the bank going bankrupt if new funding is not attained. We need to be prepared to overcome several challenges within 5 years and make sure that it can have enough capital to reduce external and internal financial risks as much as possible. It's also important to note that keeping a positive balance is essential for Freestyle Social to operate in the long run. The company will conduct 3 funding rounds to fill its funding gap of $1 million in the startup growth stage.
Here is the first part of our investment two-pager. As has been discussed, the key attraction to Freestyle Social, the program run by those at Science Everywhere, is to inspire learning through curiosity. Education really isn't a choice when we consider how essential learning is to our existence. It doesn't even have to be for a career. All humans, for one reason or another, are bound to seek education to deepen their understanding of their interests or needs. But in our current times, education is far from cheap. A post-secondary student attending college or university can expect to pay almost $50,000 for their learning depending on where they are located. Financial assistance is available, but even with this, students will have to pay back the funding with interest later on in their lives. Bottom line is that there is no escaping the fact that education is a significant cost, one of the most significant in a human's life, really. Yet, we see professors increasingly mention a reluctance in students to grasp the curriculum or even participate in class to further their understanding. Students see learning as a chore and lacking excitement. This signifies an increasing concern in the educational system. What's the solution for this predicament? That would be Freestyle Social. The primary benefit is that of a platform with no teachers or bosses, but a host to facilitate the exchange of ideas for a particular topic. Moving away from standard boring questions, this platform gets students thinking with new, intriguing questions and games intended to get them to speak and discuss. Students will realize that this is also learning, and their opinion of learning as being strapped to a desk for 8 hours a day will slowly dissipate. The process to make this happen is shown at the bottom here, where the first step is to let students and professors know of the existence of the platform and plan the upcoming event according to the group that signs up to make sure it fits their needs. The second part is to host the event using the host as a facilitator. Then we will send attendees a follow-up email mentioning how they can use the app and connect with others in their own time. This process will increase the curiosity in students for more events or games. They will then proceed to use the app on their own time, thus taking control of their learning. Finally, the application will become a staple tool in their learning that they can rely on and recommend to their friends. Now let's talk about the second page. So next up is benefits. Although there are plenty, the key benefits are shown to the left in this image here. The first benefit is that of instilling a greater sense of voice in the students, meaning that these students will be more likely to speak up and participate in class or other discussions. The second one is that learning becomes more relaxing, moving away from the idea of framing education as stressful or boring or troublesome. The last key benefit is that this increases the chances that students take initiative to become involved with groups that are beneficial to them and their subject of interest, not only furthering their careers or interests, but also their lives. As has been mentioned, the initiative is spearheaded by Anthony Morgan, who is a PhD researcher and has been recognized as a top 10 millennial changemaker in Canada by the CBC. His key accompanying members are Stephen Tran, who is in charge of researching and establishing partnerships, and Stephen Foster, who oversees the application and design of Freestyle Social. On the right, we see some of the best parts about this program. The main points are that despite the pandemic, the business has brought in over $2,500 of more profits in 2020 than 2019, despite not going public yet. The financial scope for the initiative is also to expand to all areas of Canada from just Ryerson and its student groups, which is where the business is currently operating. The business model is based around selling the Freestyle Social program, which focuses around one application and a host. As such, costs will be low, but revenues will greatly increase with each new customer. So, it's nice to meet you, Mr. Polis. My name is Diluxan, and I'm the manager of operations for Science Everywhere. We are an events and media production company here in Toronto, and we want to develop the next generation of students by tapping into their genuine desire to learn and inspiring curiosity throughout our programs. We've noticed that with the current teaching methods, students are prone to reject learning and participation. We have found that if we ask students bizarre questions such as, "Do you pee in the shower?" then ask them to provide reasoning behind their answers, they start to debate amongst themselves. During this time, we invite people to change their sides if they hear a compelling argument. The objective here isn't to determine a right answer, but to listen to other people's points and have an open mindset. Our current goal is to develop the program to 8 professors in Ontario. Once we've made headway with this, we will research the curriculum in other provinces, make contact with the appropriate individuals, and implement our programs throughout those provinces. Eventually, we see our app game in almost all institutions in Canada. Our programs are priced at $1,200 per semester, which includes the games to be played with the question bank and a facilitator to ensure proper discussion. The purchase will include daily events intended to aid the end user, who are currently instructors, and access to our services regarding evaluation, further help, etc. On top of this, we also host live events, which are more interactive, and those are priced currently at $85 per hosted event and $20 per non-hosted event.
Our next anticipated steps are developing the website further and working out bugs that arise from adding features and content. Following that, we plan on expanding our customer contact through teachers and their in-class activities. We plan on first working with teachers in Toronto to help us further develop the program and make changes based on their feedback. Then, with the reiterated product, we plan on expanding through Ontario and then across Canada through the school system. After reaching out to students through their classes, we hope they use our website outside of the classroom to help break down the boundaries between education and entertainment. This allows our program to transition from a structured course learning to a voluntary learning and connecting with friends through freestyle social.